Welcome back to the channel. Alessandro and Marcin from the banks of the River Po.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm over on a quick holidays with my family over in Sirmione. They're probably still in the bed getting ready for breakfast, but we're here with a local guide, Alessandro Negri from Guideline.
Yeah, and from Italian Fishing Guide.
From Italian Fishing Guide, and we are on the banks of the beautiful River Po on a stunning morning. Alessandro just told me where we're gonna catch a fish, so let's just go and make that happen, and we'll talk to you later.
Keep all your game, highs and lows, highs and lows. It's all the same, highs and lows, highs and lows. Keep all your game, highs and lows, highs and lows. It's all the same, highs and lows, highs and lows.
Right now, for example, the hot spot and the best spot for asp fishing are the fast currents, because the asp come near the bank in the fast water to hunting small bait fish, or if you see all the woods in the water, it's a very good spot because the asp stay live. It's asp lies. They stay there for the bait fish, to wait for the bait fish coming.
So I was talking to Alessandro about bass fishing, and then he tells me he doesn't fish for sea bass that much, and the next thing I get is a 7 to 30 28 gram rod and a little walk the dog lure. So hey, I know that style of fishing. So let me fish for sea bass and catch asp in the river, like. If you're into my channel, that looks familiar, doesn't it? It's absolutely stunning morning here on the river. The river looks fantastic. I love fishing rivers more than anything else. And if we can get the strike, a follow, or maybe even a fish on the top water, that would be absolutely fantastic. So that's the first tactic for the day, and if that doesn't work, we'll be trying a few other tricks. Look at that, look at that. Yeah, it wasn't my bad casting, I promise. It was the wind coming out of nowhere. What a fantastic spot this is. Absolutely smashing. No fish activity quite yet. But as with bass fishing, or any fishing in fact, we'll keep going until we'll find some. No asp in the first pull, although we did manage to rescue this guy. High five. We've been on the river for about 3-4 hours now, and not a fish, not a sign, not nothing. And we just stopped for a piece of what do we call it in
Salami.
Salami and some water. And the second we sat down, as you usually would when in Ireland you're getting a cup of tea going, we heard a couple of us. There's one very close in, just cruising. She might be just there now. I've cast it towards her, she followed and then turned and went the other way. But we've heard a big fish on the far bank and a few other down the river. So needless to say, the water and the salami is still on the spot, and I run like a mad to the water. We'll keep casting, maybe we'll have a chance for one.
Oh,
Okay, the morning session is over. We didn't get a fish, but we got a follow on this little beauty. Unfortunately, the fish didn't come, it didn't turn around. But then, as we moved down the river, we've seen plenty of takes from Asp. Big explosion. They weren't just going like. Alessandro was just going, oh look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Very, very exciting. Unfortunately, they were all on the far bank, so as it always happens in fishing. So we're just after trekking some 2 or 3 kilometers back to a car. We'll have a quick lunch, drive around and try to get to those fish if they're still around. And let's hope they haven't moved to this bank by the time we get there. Okay, so you'll see me soon catching that asp, I promise you that. I'll have a bit of everything. They just look too good.
Keep all your game, highs and lows, highs and lows. It's all the same, highs and lows, highs and lows. Keep all your game, highs and lows, highs and lows. It's all the same, highs and lows, highs and lows.
Just made it 2 casts, and twice the asp hit it. The second time it went 3 times, but it just couldn't connect, just didn't hit the lure. So now a 3rd cast. Let's see if she goes again. She went for it like she meant it, and I made 2 stops. That was exciting. That was bloody exciting. She really went for it.
oh, it's follow you.
Stop.
Yeah, you see the big wave?
Yeah.
It was definitely a fish. Yeah. Oh fuck.
Go ahead. Go on. Go on. Go on again. And it's okay. So I need to peep that out.
Right now it's very exciting.
I did promise you, you'll get to see a fish. I need to try harder.
Oh!
Right when it hit the water.
Yeah, yeah! Yes! Yeah, finally!
It's the same as bass. You might be blanking all day and then 1 fish, that's all it takes. I don't think she's huge, but man, am I happy. Oh.
Yeah, it's a nice one.
On the top water, right?
Yeah.
The way it should be. Ah. Ah.
Yes.
My very first Asp ever. Absolutely delighted with it. Absolutely delighted. And on the top water, just the way fishing should be done. Fantastic. I've promised you the Asp. Here's the Asp. I'm choked like a baby.
I don't really know what comes next. I'm just doing my best, even
Thank
though
you,
I'm so
beauty.
stressed out. Everything just feels like a test that I fail, so depressed when I can't seem to get out. But something deep inside won't let me quit. I'm inspired by all this.
Alessandro?
Yes. Let's see if there's another one. Probably this was not the only fish over there. Let's try it.
First cast after releasing that fish, and the big one went for it. Again missed it. So let's try to catch it.
I'm inspired by thirst, I'm inspired by worth. I desire your worst, so you can just hide while I work. I ain't tired, you first. I'll write a second, third verse about the lies you go disperse. You never did shit, I know it hurts.
Ooh. Yes, 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 it's a big one. Yes, Martin, nice. Nice.
If I wasn't bass fishing in Ireland, I would be Asp fishing on the top water. That's fantastic.
Oh,
I think that's a bit better fish. I think that's a better fish, this one.
yes, watch out.
And that's a strong current.
Yeah.
Come back.
It's a nice one.
Yeah. Let's take it out of the current. She went right for the fast water.
Yes.
That's a lovely fish. Jackpot! All morning. Not one hit. One follow in the morning.
Oh,
And now we found a gold pot.
yeah.
Honey hole. Yes.
Yes, it's a nice one.
Oh, that's a lovely fish. What do you say, Alessandro? That's a nice fish.
That's a nice fish. It's almost a 70 centimeters fish. It's a very nice asp. I'm more than happier for you.
Alessandro from Italian Fishing Guides, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, if you're ever in Italy on a quick break like I am, make sure to give this chap a call. I leave his details in the description. Oh, that's a lovely fish. Absolutely smashing fish.
What happened?
What happened?
Yeah,
Fishing happened.
the third asp of the day.
You can't plan anything, can you?
Yeah.
The plan was to catch my first asp and try to fish for them with a fly technique, and we'll talk to you about the fly technique in a second. I'll get Alessandro to tell you how he fishes for them. But we didn't find the asp in the fast water, We found them in a slower water, and now we've changed the spot to go to the other side of the slower water, and it's like bingo. We can't fish with the fly over here, but I'm absolutely delighted. That's the third fish after releasing the previous one. Was well over 70 centimeters. That's the third fish in about 5 casts. That's why we love fishing. And they're all on the top water. Bass of rivers. How good is that? Okay, off you go. And if you are into a bass fishing and want to come to Italy or somewhere else and try to fish for asp, look at this. A lovely walk the dog type of lure. What's the name of that one?
It's Duo Realis,
Duo Realis.
walking the dog.
Beautiful, about 80-90 millimeters in the color we all love in Ireland and the UK, in the Pachinko type of a 500G color, killer for bass, and obviously asp love it too. It seems like they've moved out a little bit. So the last one we caught was upstream from the first two. Probably commotion pushes them out. We'll try to cover slightly different ground. Maybe there is another one there. So they weren't here. One more trick. We'll cast slightly downstream now. There's not much room behind me to cast, but I cast slightly downstream and I let the line go. So we'll try to cover the water just slightly beyond our reach. Okay.
Oh no!
That one came off. But did you say it's like bass fishing? You cast into a certain area, cover few fish, then you cast upstream or to the left, to the right, and that was cast downstream, let the line go just to try to cover water we haven't covered. It's always the best idea, not necessarily changing tons of lures, but just trying to cover water you haven't covered before. Okay, so that's the lure. The fish moves out a little bit out of our reach. We tried upstream, we tried downstream, and we know they are out of the reach because a very long cast did some action but short don't. So we've put this one. A, it's a different presentation, and B, we can cast it further. Now the trick is, we had the fish attacking it every single time in the last 5 casts, but they're just not hitting it properly. And what I'm trying to do is, the action happens right after it hits the water. So what I'm trying to do is close the reel before it touches the water, start drilling right away, and hopefully hook into a big one. So let's see if we can make that happen. Yeah. I felt the touch. I felt the touch. But it didn't hook again. That's 6 times now in 6 casts.
Another one.
So Alessandro said, let's just put this lure on and we move the spot. And the second cast with that lure, BAM! And the metal lure, again, you know from my bass videos that I absolutely love Kilty Catcher and other metal lures because they cast like a bullet, and when everything else fails you can reach those fish that are too far to be reached with normal lures. Yeah! Playing tricks on me. Let me try to show you the spoon. Looks like a normal spoon, right? But look, that's a double spoon back to back. Never seen anything like that. But obviously the fish like it, so I won't complain. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but that black tail, fantastic looking. Changing spot. We've pushed out the fish from the other spot. We've caught 7, lost 1, landed 6, 7 on the hook, and plenty more follows and strikes. It was absolutely fantastic. We didn't quite expect that, did we?
No.
Not quite that, but that's the fishing. You can plan it. It's absolutely fantastic. So we're changing a spot. Now we're going to the spot that we've seen the fish in the morning from the other bank. So we hope to have some more action. The sun is slowly going down. I still want Alessandro to talk to you about the fly fishing for Asp, but I don't know if we have the light. But look, between the filmmaking and fishing there's only one choice, right?
Yes, fishing.
But if we can, I'll ask Alessandro to record something later on and add in that film. So for now, let's keep fishing.
Yeah. So here no way to go down.
That's where we've seen a few fish in the morning, just off that point there. But yeah, no, that's too steep. We're not doing that, are we?
No. If you want to jump in the water,
no, we're not doing that. So let's
we can go a little bit downstream, and we can go down near the river.
That's where we were in the morning, and you can see it's good, probably 150 meters across, and all the fish were over here. That was quite frustrating, but we don't mind now that we found a few. Okay, let's try to find a few more. Just hike down to some difficult terrain, and we got to absolutely beautiful spot. Just woods, kind of like big bank behind us, and look there, big asp on the surface. That's such a stunning fish. Whoa.
Nice!
That's fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah.
There, I'm recording. There, I'm recording.
3 times! Sometimes also the guides make few casts and take a nice fish.
And you know what? You don't always get the fish, even if you go with a guide and everything. But that's what you actually pay for. You pay for the experience. You pay for the knowledge gain over hundreds and thousands of hours on the water.
Oh yes!
You can't get that knowledge if you just go a new place. You can't get that knowledge. That's why it's always a good idea to hire someone that spend all the time figuring things out, so you can have a, hopefully, if the fish are obliging as they are today or this afternoon, you can get such an amazing day. That tail, black tail, silver fish, they actually are part of a Cyprinus family. They're part of the same family as carbar. That pulled the lure.
Yeah.
Well done. Just didn't hook.
Oh. Back again. Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Ah.
One, two.
Look at this, guys. The fishing's absolutely insane. My battery died out of all the recording we've done. That's a fish number 25 today. How good is that? And a lovely asp. Probably about 65, high 60s. Fishing is absolutely insane. Off you go.
Yeah.
Now if you enjoyed that, you might consider sticking around by subscribing and dropping in the like. And as I said, if you're ever in Italy and have a day to spare, make sure to give this guy, Asp Guru, a call, Alessandro. I'll leave his details down in the description.
I'm Marcin. I try to explain my Asp fly fishing setup as fast as I can. I use switch rods and double hand rods with shooting heads. I have a full set of shooting heads, and the sinking densities depend on the period. For example, during the summer or the fall, I tend to use floating lines, full floating lines, because I like to fish on the surface. I like to use gurglers. I like to use sunrise shadows, fish at refoliage, because I like the water explosion and I like to fish the asps on that way. During the winter, for example, I tend to use very deep, very fast sinking rates, shooting heads, also 3, 5, 7 sinking rates, because during the winter the asps tend to go to the deepest pool of the river, so you have to fish slow, you have to fish with biggest flies, and you have to strip your retrieve. So in that case I tend to use sinking rates, shooting heads. As I told you before, in summer, fall and springs, with the temperatures are warm, I tend to use full floating lines because I like to fish on the surface. The asp flies, there is a pretty difference between the seasons and the asp flies. In the season that I know that I can find bait fish, for example, during the spring, the summer and the fall, I tend to use flies, very natural flies that try to imitate a bait fish, like this one, for example, or a fly that I can use on the surface, like a gurgler, or a floating bait fish, or even a sunrise shadow fished at a refoliage. For example, this one is a very good pattern, and this one is also a very good pattern. It's a simple bait fish, the same that you use for bass fishing in Ireland. This one is another one, pretty natural, pretty in white and green or white and gray, to try to match the edge. The fish during this period fishing for bait, hunting for bait fish, so I use bait fish flies. In the winter, it's totally different. You do not see water explosion. You do not see asp eating on the surface. So during this period, during this time from late November until March, I tend to use sinking rates, the shooting heads. I tend to fish pretty on the bottom of the pools and use very big flies. For example, samurais like that, this is more than 15 centimeters in a black and white but bright color, for example golden and red in this one, or a very nice flies, very nice good color combination is the chartreuse and black for Asp. I use also this one in purple, it's a Mikeli blue samurai. I have this one also. I have mainly I love to fish with tube flies because I'm a salmon fly fisherman, so I love to use the same setup that I use in my trips to Norway or Ireland or Scotland for Atlantic salmon fishing. So I tend to use tube flies like this one, or a Tosh Sunray like this one in white and black color. Or my favorite one is this one. I have very love to fish with the green samurai, fishing fast and also stripped during the retrieve, because the take of the Asp is something very nice, very strong and powerful. So I love to put also my rods under my arm and make the roly-poly, because when the fish takes it's very nice.